everyone, it's Joy here. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you're here watching. So today I am sharing the small die of the month from Spellbinders for February 2022. And this is a stitching die, and this is how these go together. So you've got these three main pieces, and then you have like these little side pieces here that go around or inside, and this is what really kind of die cuts that shape. So that outer oval piece, that's going to cut that out, and when you put the center piece out in, then you will have like a perfect little, I'm going to call it a wreath, a nice oval wreath. So you have the outside parts that die cut and then the inside parts that die cut. So I'm going to take this inside piece, and I have a piece of apricot cardstock from Fawn. And I'm going to center that in that piece of cardstock. This is trimmed down about 1/8 of an inch on all sides. So it's slightly smaller than an A2 size card. And I just right now only want that center piece. I want to cut out a hole, so we're going to have a nice open frame. I'm going to tape that down, run that through my die cut machine, and then I'm going to die cut the other piece, which I totally did not get recorded, you guys. I'm so sorry. But like at the beginning, I showed you all of those pieces together, the outside pieces and then the inside piece, die cuts this little wreath. I die cut that twice from white cardstock. I'm going to stack that on top of each other. I'm leaving in the pieces. I'm not popping out the holes. You could, but I'm not doing that. I am not going to be stitching this. I'm going to do something else. I think these stitching dies are really, really pretty, but it's not something I love. So to me, it feels like sewing, and I'm just a girl who does not like sewing. I don't mind doing it a little bit, but there was a lot of stitching on this. So I was like, you know what? Let's try something different. So I'm going to adhere this around that opening that we already die cut. And then we're going to put this whole card together, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do instead of the stitching. So now these beautiful leaves, I love these. I have die cut these from Gold Mirror cardstock. This is actually from the large die of the month. And then that little white flower was from a previous Spellbinders project. I couldn't even tell you what set this was from, but I'm sure I have a video just recently with that. But I already had that in white. I'm going to leave it white. I'm keeping this very simple as far as the color scheme goes. I've really been into like a peachy color, apricot color, that kind of a thing. Now I have a piece of white cardstock that I have in the MISTI behind this frame here. And it is like a 1/16 of an inch larger all the way around. I'm coming in with the Greetery's Simply Wonderful stamp set. I'm lining that up in the center. I'll remove that top part of the card, and then I can stamp this onto this background piece. I'm going to be doing some gold heat embossing, so I will prep my card with a anti-static powder tool. I'm going to use VersaMark ink to ink this up, and then sprinkle on the gold embossing powder. I love this large sentiment. This is perfect to fit inside of that oval frame. I've had this stamp for quite a while. I actually meant to use it at Christmas time, and I just didn't even get a chance to use it. So this also has a bunch of other sentiments in it, which is perfect. So this is definitely not a Christmas card. So I'm going to sprinkle that on, and look at how pretty that is. I did already have my heat tool warming up. I like to turn it on when I'm just getting ready to start stamping for heat embossing, so it's nice and hot. So I'm going to melt that until it's nice and shiny. And then we're going to put this together. I am going to pop this up with foam tape because I do want to have some dimension between the background and the front of the card panel. So it's going to give that frame some dimension. So I'm looking for the other sentiment, and it's going to say "you are," and I'm going to do that in black ink. And I just think these sentiments are so pretty. They're so scripty, and I just love them. So just on some white cardstock with some black ink, and then I'll trim that out with my paper trimmer. I'm just lining it up. When I close the lid on my mini MISTI here, I'm just making sure that the stamp looks straight with the grid that's on the front. I stamped that a couple times to get a good crisp black image, and then I'm just going to use my paper trimmer to trim that out, nice and easy. and I will adhere this at the top. So I'm going to put this whole card together first, and then I'm going to show you what I'm doing on those little stitching holes. So here's the foam tape that I'm going to add because I want this to have dimension. You also could turn this into a shaker card, which I did debate doing, but once I remembered I had this wonderful stamp, I did not want to do a shaker card. I just think it's so, so pretty without it. So I'm going to make sure I center this in, because remember this white background piece is slightly larger than my front apricot piece. So it'll have a nice small little white frame, and I will adhere this to a white A2 size background too, so it has a lot of dimension. Super, super pretty. I'm going to adhere that to the card base. Then I will adhere that sentiment at the top. I like the little bit of pop of black in here because everything is very gold, white, and apricot color. So that black, I think, just breaks it up just a little bit. Now, I'm going to come in with the pale gold Nouveau crystal drops, and I am just going to follow the design on this frame, adding all of the dots to it. It actually didn't take me that long. I thought at first I was going to do two different colors, like a white and a gold on the Nouveau crystal drops, but I just ended up doing gold all the way around. So I'm just going to go on all of these holes in the center all the way around. I will lift up some of the leaves to do some of that underneath if you could kind of see it, but I'm not worried about doing it the other way around. You could do this step first and then adhere everything, but I just did not want to deal with that. Then I added some of the gold, the pale gold Nouveau crystal drops to the center of the flower, and then this card is completely finished. I think it's stunning. Those leaves, I absolutely adore these leaves. I have a huge plant in my house that are exactly those leaves. So thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel, comment, share, like, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.